everyone, and welcome back to the Seeds of Success podcast, the podcast where we share practical insights to help you grow and protect your business. I'm your host, Orly, and as always, I have Dottie with me. And today we're diving into a topic that's becoming more important than ever. How to safeguard your business from scammers and cybercrime. From fake phone calls, pretending to be vendors or corporate leaders, to increasingly sophisticated email and payment fraud schemes, businesses of all sizes are being targeted every day. And the reality is, it only takes one moment of trust or distraction for a scammer to succeed. So today we're going to talk about, the most common types of scams targeting businesses, real world scenarios to watch out for, and simple practical steps you can take to protect your team and your revenue. Joining me, as I mentioned, Dottie, who brings a strong perspective on customer experience and operational awareness, two areas that play a huge role in prevention. Dottie, thank you for being here as always.
Thanks, Orly. This is such an important conversation. Scams are everywhere and, they're no longer obvious. They're really designed to feel like urgent, like you've got to act like right now. They're familiar and they're legitimate. So there's no reason for you not to want to buy into it, right? So let's start with one of the most common scenarios. A business gets a phone call from someone claiming to be either from corporate or IT or tech support or even a trusted vendor. The caller sounds confident. They use real names. They might know your name, the owner's name, and they create that sense of urgency. Something like, we need immediate payment to avoid service disruption, or your system needs a security update right now. And in that moment, the employee feels pressured to act quickly. I think I've been a part of that, and I'm sure you have too.
Yeah, exactly. And that urgency is the key tactic. Scammers don't want you to think; they want you to react. Another common one is email spoofing, where the message looks like it's coming from an owner, manager, or vendor. You might see slightly altered email addresses, requests for payment changes, or instructions to purchase gift cards or wire funds. And because it looks familiar, it's easy to trust.
Yes, right. And there's also a rise in payment redirection scams where a vendor notifies you that the banking details have changed. Everything looks legitimate, the branding, the language, even previous email chains, but the money ends up going to a fraudulent account.
Yeah, and what makes this especially dangerous is that many of these scams target operational environments, places where teams are multitasking and trying to deliver a great guest experience. All right, so let's shift into what businesses can do to protect themselves, because the good news here is that a few simple habits can make a huge difference.
Absolutely. The first thing, and probably the most important step, is make it standard practice to pause and confirm before acting on any financial sensitive request. That includes calling a number, a known contact number, not the one provided in the message. So if somebody calls and you ask them for the phone number where you can call them back, don't call that number. Make sure you are calling a known number that you have for that vendor or that person. Don't rely on something you read in an email that you've been sent. Also, verifying requests internally before processing payments. And last, requiring approval for any unusual transactions. Make sure if it needs manager approval that you've got that system in place.
Yeah, that's such a good point. Another one is never rely on urgency alone. If someone is pushing you to act immediately, whether it's a phone call, email, or text, that's a red flag. Legitimate partners will understand the need for verification.
And adding to that, limit financial access and authority. So not everyone on your team should be able to process payments or make account changes.
Yeah.
Set clear roles and require dual approval for things like wire transfers or vendor updates or large purchases or large refunds.
Yeah. And here's another practical one. Train your team regularly. Even a short quarterly conversation about scams can dramatically reduce risk. Cover things like recognizing suspicious communication, what to do if something feels off, or who to report concerns to.
Yes, and we shouldn't forget about technology safeguards. So use basic cybersecurity hygiene. Make sure you've got strong, very unique passwords. Make sure you've got multi-factor authentication set up. regular system updates, secure Wi-Fi networks. These are small steps that can prevent unauthorized access before a scam even begins.
Yeah, there's some great information here. So let's summarize a few key takeaways businesses can implement right away. So pause before acting. Urgency is a red flag. Verify every financial request through a second channel. Limit who can move money or make account changes. Train your team to recognize and report suspicious activity. And use basic cybersecurity tools and safeguards.
And I'd add one more to that, Orly. Empower your team to speak up. People should feel comfortable saying, man, this just does not seem right. I'm going to double check. Creating that environment can actually stop a scam before it happens.
Yeah, that's such an important mindset shift. It's not about slowing things down. It's about, it's about protecting the business.
Yes. And as we wrap up, I think the biggest message here is that protecting your business does not require complex systems. It starts with awareness and consistency. Scammers are getting so sophisticated, but so can we. By building simple habits like verifying requests or slowing down when something feels urgent and supporting your team, you create a strong first line of defense. And ultimately, safeguarding your business means protecting your people, your revenue, and the experience you work so hard to deliver every day. So take a few minutes after this episode and review your internal process. Talk with your team and identify 1 or 2 changes that you can implement immediately. Because prevention isn't just reactive, it's proactive. Thank you so much for being a part of today's episode of Seeds of Success. Orly, this has been a really good topic, and I hope that our listeners go out and identify those 1 or 2 changes that they can implement today. Listeners, until next time, let's continue to build success, one happy guest and one incredible experience at a time.